Good evening, everybody. Oh, frog on the throat. Thank goodness it's not quite so windy as it was earlier. Gosh, I didn't realise that we were supposed to be having yet another sort of storm or something. I don't know what it was, but fortunately it seems to be abating now, so that's good. Had a lovely afternoon with chatting with the Crafty Cafe. I don't know that I noticed any cups of tea there, to be honest, but we had really good time. I've no idea how we got onto some subjects, but it was a nice afternoon. So today I said I was going to just show you a technique. So nothing new as such, nothing new in terms of anything that I'm using. I do have some cherry blossom stamps, just literally a handful. So they are available, but and many people have already got them anyway because I use them as part of a workshop. But the other bits and pieces, I just wanted to show you a different fancy fold card, really. So I'm going to be using the designer card Sage Blooms, the Creative Expression Sentiment. Now, I've decided to go for the Best Wishes one, but unfortunately there may well be one or two left on the website, but as we know, Creative Expressions is no longer, so we can't get any more of those, unfortunately. And as I said, I've got some of the cherry blossoms. I will be here on Sunday. I will tell you about that in just a bit. Okay, so I just noticed that Samantha says she's looking forward to the Zoom workshop on Saturday. I'm assuming you don't mean me, because my one's the following Saturday. But anyway, whatever. So now, in the crafty workshops, crafty craft cafe this afternoon, I was going mad with the measurements because I've done a very similar card to this before, called an arrow card, and I did it as a 5x7, and I noticed that it's been revamped again, which is lovely. And a lady called Lisa Curaco, I don't know how to pronounce her name, sorry, that she was doing one with the 5x7, and I thought, I've already done that, but let me see if I could do a square one. So I can do a square one, but by golly, it took a bit of thinking. And so I've done all the thinking for you. You no longer have to do it. But it was suggested that in my group that I might try doing it in inches rather than centimetres. When I got to 13/16, there was no way that I was going to be doing anything in 16ths or inches or anything. So I have a 6x6 card blank, which clearly is not quite 6x6, and that's where all your problems come, really. So it's about a 5 3/4, something like that. I'm going to fold it in half, and then along the top line here, I'm going to measure and mark at 6 centimeters from the fold. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little mark at the top at 6 centimeters. Then I'm going to grab my paper trimmer, and I'm going to, along the little edge there, I'm going to put that mark at the top, and then I'm going to swizzle it around so that the bottom right hand corner is opposite, and cut a sort of a diagonal if I can. So I've got the mark at the top there, and then that one down the bottom. I'm going to put my blade in the center rather than risk catching those edges, and cut a piece that is like that. I'm then going to keep both of those pieces. I want both of those pieces, but pop them to one side. Then I've taken a piece of moss green card, and I've cut two pieces, which are, both 14 centimeters by 14 centimeters. Okay, so I've already cut that. And so now I'm going to take a piece of my Sage Bloom. I think I'm going to go for this one. So I want one piece to be from up here. So I'm going to cut a piece up here, which is going to be 13.5 by 13.5. So let's do one here. So 13.5 by 13.5. So that's one piece. That's going to go inside there. And then I'm going to cut the other one round this bit. So again, I'm just choosing where I want to be cutting on my actual pattern. So that one is 13.5 by 13.5 as well. Okay. Now, with one of my green pieces, so this green piece, I'm going to put another little mark. I haven't lost my pencil already. Where did I put my pencil then? Did it fall on the floor? No. Oh, in a safe place. God, that's magic, isn't it? How can I lose a pencil in just such a short while? Who knows? What on earth did I do with that? Can anyone see it? Where do you reckon I put it? Oh, it's magic, isn't it? It's absolute magic. Have I got another pencil, we ask ourselves? No, we haven't got another pencil, but we do have a pen. So let's just try and get away with it. So with my second square, I'm going to make a mark on this one at, let's just check, 5.5 centimetres. So I'm just going to make a little tiny mark there. And then I'm going to cut diagonally from there to the bottom of there. So again, I'm putting my marks top and bottom, putting my cutter in and cutting those pieces. So when we look at our card, that's going to go in that section there. So I'm cutting all the layers first and foremost here. So then I'm going to take this piece, which was my front piece. Already measured that at 13.5 by 13.5. So now I'm going to put a little mark at 5 centimetres along the top. Just a little mark. And again, I'm going to go diagonally. So I'm putting that point right up here and the other point right down there. Okay, so let's get some of this stuck together so that you can see where we're going. So this is going to go inside the card. So this was the main first mat. Whoops. Oh, do you know, it's so warm in my room. That's decided because I didn't put it back properly. That's decided to do that. So, sorry, am I getting any more of these beautiful papers I missed out first time round? Which papers are we talking about, Helen? Are we talking about the Sage Blooms? Because they are on the website, if that's what you are talking about. I suspect that that is what we're talking about. So that's really good. I have got on Sunday quite a spectacular design to show you. So if you can make it on Sunday, I will be here at 6 o'clock. I know it's Easter Sunday, but I will be here to show you something rather special. And I'm looking forward to showing you that. I was going to show you tonight. And then I thought, no, I'm going to show you on Sunday because it's worth the Sunday special, I reckon. So that's the inside of my card, all nicely put together. And as you can see, I've chosen the Sage Blooms so that it's like a fairly light colour because I didn't want anything to detract there. Okay, so then I've got my base to go on here and here. So this is on my front. So this as more of the pattern. It's a pretty sort of pattern, not small. I was going to use the infamous Spring Meadows, but I decided against it. I thought that might be a bit much because I keep on using it, but it is lovely. So I'm putting all these layers on first. Okay. So there we go. We've got our open card here. Now, you remember I wanted to call it an arrow card, or it is, I should say, called an arrow card. So this piece here was the piece that was cut away from here. Okay. Now, I think I've got to slightly change that, possibly. Yeah, just slightly change that. So this piece was the piece that I cut away from that front layer. So if I just slot it against there, but from this long angle, take off 1 centimetre. I'll show you what I mean. Let's bring this card in. Not card. So I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to take this edge 1 centimetre over, so that this is actually, so it's 7.5 there, but I'm just going to take it like that and then just run that through. So I've cut off 1 centimetre from that long edge, and then that fits nicely onto my corner piece. Okay, so that is then going to be my arrow onto there, like that. So I'll pop that down as well. So put that onto the layer, like, whoops. Oh. Get it into position. There we go. I'm not going to put the second layer on this one. I think it looks better without, so I'll show you in a second. So then I've cut another two pieces of card. I've cut a piece of white card, which is 5.5 centimetres by 17. And then I've cut another piece of my green card, which is 5 centimetres by 15.5. And then I'm going to cut some more of my designer paper. So this piece I'm going to cut at 4 centimetres by 14. And each one of these is going to be cut diagonally. Now, I'm not going to put any marks on them because they're all going to be done in the same way. They're all going to be cut from top left to bottom right. So I'm going to put that into my runner. I'm going to line that up. And again, I'm going to start my blade so that it's halfway. And that's one piece. Then I'm going to do my green bit. Again, top left, bottom right, so that those points are absolutely on that running line there. And bring that one in. And then finally with this one, top left, bottom right, on the diagonal. And again, just hold that steady. And that fits in like that. So that when we put all these three pieces together, you've got your very slender one on the bottom. Then you've got your green layer, just like you were doing with the main card itself. So just, whoops, like that. And then this piece onto there. Put it at the top a bit more, like that. Okay, so when we bring our card back in, I'm going to put them at an angle. So where I want them to stay is so that this point is parallel with the top of my card. Okay, that's better. So that point is at the parallel with my card, and then running down that point points towards that bottom corner. And then this one is going to go on top of the other one. Okay, and it's going to go at an angle so that this point is on this outside card. Okay, so that when we've stuck them down and everything and you pick them up, that's what you're going to see on the back. So all white, it'll be all white. But I think that if I was to put a coloured piece of card, I know it would need to be trimmed down, but if I was to put it onto there, I feel that that's too much of pattern. Whereas if I just leave the green, I think it looks much nicer. Okay. Now, I'm going to pop a little bit of foam onto here. So let me grab the, whoops, sorry, didn't mean to bash you. Let's grab some of these little pieces. So we'll do this one first. And as I said, we're going to position it so that our point is on that corner bit there. So I know that I need to put my pads so that they're from about here down. Whoops. I'm only putting on a small amount of foam, not a huge amount, because I don't want it to be very proud. I just wanted it to be slightly. So turning that over, and as I said, that point onto there, that point in that corner. So just about like that. And then I'm going to just position this back in again to check where I want it to be. So again, I'm now putting that piece over in that corner. And so I can put foam, but I can put that on quite a long way. So anything from about, what's that, about 4 centimeters down. Oops. So just to raise it up a little bit. You don't have to. I just always think, you know what I'm like, a little bit of foam. So just poke off those pieces. Now I've cut the sentiment out already, and I've cut it out from the moss green, but it would also be nice cut out from the gold, I thought, as well. You know, the goldy sort of colour goes with that, and there's almost a gold sort of tinge to this as well. So pop that into place there. So I've cut 2 of my best wishes. I've put out one. It's going to go down there. Now I'm thinking it needs to be gold. It needs to be gold because it needs to show. So I needed 2 layers anyway. I've already cut 2 out of the green, but I think I need a little bit of satin gold instead to be the top layer, because I wanted it to really show. It does show more so when I put that second bit on, but let's have a look. I'm just going to put this, grab hold of it, put that through my machine again. Because I think that would look a little bit better. Then I've taken my cherry blossoms. So these are the cherry blossoms that are not quite the latest release from Julie Hickey. They were the March release from Julie. They are an absolute delight to colour. If you like colouring, they are just beautiful to colour. So I've already coloured some. I've coloured them with ink tents. I'll show you in a second. And I've coloured them in the sort of yellowy colour because I want them to pick up something on there. I mean, you could, this sort of style card, if you did it in black and white or gold and white or silver and white, it would again make any occasion card, to be honest, and obviously then change your sentiments. So it's all quite relevant, whatever you fancy, really. It's a really versatile design. So I'm going to be very ambitious there and put in 3 pieces. So let's put a blob of glue onto my silicone mat. Oops. And then just pick up the glue on top of my pen and everything else. So I can put that on top of this one. So it's cut out, as I said, 3 times. I personally wouldn't normally cut them out 3 times, but as I've already cut it out, why not? It all adds to it. And then I've cut it out from the satin gold. So add a bit more glue. And then just pick that up. So all I'm doing is I'm just picking up the glue that's already on the table. Because it's a silicone mat, it isn't sort of going to ruin anything. She says, hopefully. No, it isn't. And then just put that on top. So now, as I push that together, you've got a really thick layer of Best Wishes, but it's in the gold rather than the green. And I think that's going to stand up that much better down there. So one more layer, I suppose, seeing as I've been doing it like that. Oh, yeah, don't forget, thank you, Fiona. Thumbs up would be appreciated if you could. It's just nice to show you some different designs without saying you need to now go and get this and get that. All of these things are things that you could probably use what you've already got in your stash, whether it be my sentiments or anybody else's sentiments. Gosh, that's a really thick sentiment. I like that. I'll show you in a second, much closer. Then I've got my little cherry blossoms. So as I said, I've coloured them with ink tents so that I've gone over with the pale yellow and then a sort of an orangey in the second, just to give it a little bit of a something. That one's cut from this one. So I've cut out, actually it's this one, I've cut out that one, and then I've done 2 of those single little ones which have a little leaf on, and I'm just going to put them up here. I'm going to pop a little bit of silicone on it, but just so it looks a little bit of a something on that corner. But this sort of design is just so flexible, you could use it for literally anything, any sort of design that you want. So I'll pop that one there. A little bit of foam on it already. That one there. And that one there. So it's just a little trio of the flowers there as well. Let me just pop this back on here and show you the card as it's finished. So when you open it, you've got that very pretty, and as I said, I particularly picked the pattern so that you could have a very light colour there. So this is still obviously the right greens and all the rest of it. And this one looks as if it's been splattered. I don't know if you could see that, but it looks like it's been splattered. But the sentiment, as you can see, looks really bold. 3 layers, gosh, it does make a difference. And then you've got your little cherry blossom flowers at the top. But then this arrows design. So as I said, if you go back probably about 2 years or more, try and find it if I can, you've got the 5x7 version of this. So this is a 6x6, as in a square. Okay. So yeah, I'm glad you like it. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Stella. See, you knew what I was doing, that I'd know eventually what I was doing. I just had terrible trouble trying to get this all measured in the right way, but I think that it works really well and it stands up nicely. I know you can't see it standing up, but it does stand up nicely with this very ornate front bit. I can just imagine that in a black and gold and that sort of thing. So there you go. That is for this evening. That is our card for this evening. So it's a pop-up, sorry, it's an arrow card, but it's a square arrow as opposed to the one that I did before. As I said, I will be back on, let me just clear this glue off because otherwise I keep putting my hand in it. I will be back on Sunday evening, which is Easter Sunday. But I do hope that you can join me because you will be pleased you did, because I have got a beautiful, beautiful thing to show you. So I wish I could show you now. It's sitting here. It's within spitting distance, but I'm not going to show you now. I'm going to show you on Sunday, and I do hope that you can join me. There are a couple of new elements part of it. Some of the stuff you all may already have, some of the stuff you won't possibly have, but all in all, I think it will give you something worthwhile to come along and see me on Sunday. So if you haven't already, possibly pick that up. Yeah, I don't know about clever working it out. It gave me a bit of a nightmare, but I did it. I did it. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely evening. If you haven't done a thumbs up, that would be great, down here somewhere. And I will find the link for the 5x7 card. So just in case you fancy doing that type of a card, that would be great as well. Okay, take care, everyone, and I'll see you on Sunday. Have a lovely Easter weekend until I see you. All right, many thanks. Bye.